Hi, in this video I want to share information on how my salary has changed over the years working here in Austria. Salary transparency, especially in Austria, is a rather delicate topic. Discussing salaries here is often seen as a taboo, and many companies do their best to keep this information secret. Some might even take legal action against employees who disclose their salary details, depending on the contract. While this secrecy is partly cultural, companies also benefit from the lack of open information. I have seen many people are advocating for more transparency in this area, and I want to contribute by disclosing this information myself. I moved to Austria not being a native and have been working here for over a decade. My experience with salaries and payments have evolved over time, and I have learned the importance of staying informed about the current market conditions. At early jobs, I was rather happy with whatever the company was offering me. In some cases, they even came back and increased the initial offering marginally, which made me even happier. But this view has changed over time, and I will tell you what helps, but let's first go over the numbers. I already had some years of professional experience as PHP developer and web developer before moving to Austria and EU. My work journey here in Austria began in the summer of 2010 with my first job, where I was paid 2,164 euros before taxes and 1,495 euros after. There I was mainly doing PHP development at a mid-level. I worked at the same company for 2 consecutive summers, each time around 3 months. The following summer, my pay increased slightly to 2,197 euros before taxes and 1,512 euros after. In the summer of 2012, I started at the second company, switching to Java and a tech lead position. I was earning 2,300 euros before taxes and 1,565 euros after per month. After 1 year there, my salary was increased to 2,500 euros before taxes and 1,670 euros after. Later, I received another raise to 2,549 euros before taxes and 1,695 euros after, but I left the company in September 2014. After a brief period at a third company where I earned 2,800 euros before taxes and 1,850 euros per month after taxes, I spent 2 years working on my startup, which didn't pay much, so for the sake of correctness, I will leave out this part. At the end of 2016, I joined the next company. At this point, I was at the level of a senior Java developer. Also, this was the first time I negotiated my salary and got almost 18% increase from my last job 2 years earlier. I started at 3,300 euros before taxes and 2,167 euros after. Within 6 months, I renegotiated to 3,600 euros before taxes and 2,309 euros afterwards. Another nearly 10% increase. I eventually left due to dissatisfaction with the work and pay, but at this company I was first confronted with real information about how much some other companies are ready to pay for a developer. So I took the next negotiation very seriously. In 2018, I moved to a fifth company, earning 4,200 euros before taxes and 2,595 euros after. Again, a significant jump of around 17%. After a year, I managed a slight increase to 4,343 euros before and 2,662 euros after taxes. At that time, I already had good connections and market understanding of salaries for similar positions, and I felt my good performance wasn't adequately compensated, so I started looking elsewhere. What helped me specifically in this time to understand the market conditions was going to meetups, getting in touch with other developers, exchanging information about the pay, even though this was not very clear communication, so the salary itself wasn't always spoken out. but it gave me a good understanding of the market and where I'm standing. Also, in the meantime, I had stepped up my open source contribution and also made some of my best hobby projects codes available online. I worked a bit on my online presence and my website to be more appealing too. By the end of summer 2019, I was reached out by the sixth company that I joined afterwards, offering me a salary that was almost 32% higher. I earned 5,714 euros before taxes and 3,365 euros after. This was by far the highest jump I had. However, after more than 2 years without a raise, I decided to switch companies again. In my next role, I accepted the stocks as part of my payment and settled for a lower pay, which didn't work out very well. Initially, I was paid 5,143 euros before taxes and 3,070 euros after, which later increased to 5,521 euros before and 3,249 euros after taxes. From 2022 to 2023, I worked at another company where I did through negotiations, pre-join, and had multiple parallel offers, which I actually used during negotiations. One could say I started to learn how to do it. There, I started with a salary of 5,929 euros before taxes and 3,497 euros afterwards, which was quite high even by employee market standards at that time. After about 8 to 9 months, I got promoted and received an increase to 6,106 euros before taxes and 3,670 euros after. Here, I was also offered stock, or better said, phantom stocks, but at the end, that didn't really benefited me. For my current job, I can only reveal that my salary has again had a big jump. I will show you a diagram showing my journey. It does not contain all the information that I mentioned here, but it should give you a pretty good idea of its overall progress. So, what contributes to getting a good salary? For sure, the experience that someone is gathering throughout his career is contributing towards his salary increase. But looking at my history, there has been many jumps in increases that are not only due to the experience level. Understanding market trends, the value of doing proper negotiations, and not being shy in doing so are definitely more important factors. One obvious take from my experience is that unfortunately staying at the same company never brought me much of progress. Salary increases in those cases were always around 3 to 4%, which was a little bit higher than inflation, but switching companies brought me at least 3 times that amount. This is very unfortunate, as it brings much higher costs both for employee and companies. Especially for employee, the mental burden of looking for a job and going through interviews. I assume this high cost is what brings many hope to companies that employees will not look for new companies, even though they are not being offered much of a raise. There are also other factors affecting one's salary and expectation. Some people prefer a higher chunk of non-monetary benefits, for example stocks or phantom stocks or bonuses and similar, which reduces the cash. In my experience, especially when working with earlier stage startups, maximizing cash was a good strategy, but I have seen people earn really high amounts by risking cash for stocks and similar. The important keyword here is risk, and I believe it is also important to have a minimum amount of cash so that losing all other benefits does not make you feel bankrupt. Also, if you're considering moving to Austria from outside EU, or if you have moved here and you're seeking a salary increase, remember to factor in work permit, company's cultural openness, and overall package. Especially finding a company that pursues a work permit for you could be a really rare find. If you have the option of moving between countries compared to other European countries with strong economics, Austria's social democratic setup offers advantages like pretty good social security, but also comes with pretty high taxes. So you might be overall better off in other countries, even with lower salaries. Looking at the gap between before and after tax payments on my diagram should give you an idea of what I'm talking about. There are also other countries which have higher salary ranges for same job description, like Germany. But generally what you should aim for is to land a job in an international company which is competing in international market. That's where you will see real breakthroughs. I hope I could provide you some useful insights into salary levels, negotiations, and understanding the job market in Austria. If you have any questions or need more details, please let me know in the comments and I will try to address them in future videos. Thank you.